What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. I've had a great day. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the Idaho student investigation. Some new news come out today that there is no evidence that this was drug related. So there's that. Now here's what I want to really break down into. I want to go into detail and kind of deep dive into this Ethan and Xana 5-hour gap. That's what I want to deep dive into here. So old Don B's brain's going to be a ticking here. Bear with me, guys. Alright, so apparently from around 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. That's the 5-hour gap that nobody really knows anything about. I mean, they know more about it. They may know more about it now, but we don't. And there's a couple hour gap there. So, how can investigators figure out where they went and what they were doing? Alright. Here's what I'm thinking. Number one, can their cell phones maybe tell where they were at between 9 p.m. and 1:45 a.m.? I'm just wondering. Because you know those tracking apps like Life 360, things like that. So hopefully, here's what I'm thinking, guys. Here's where I would be looking. Number one, I hope they would have a smartwatch, and number two, I hope they would have like one of those Life 360 tracking apps, because what if the smartwatch showed a huge heart rate increase for a few minutes at the frat house, at the frat party? What if Madison and Kaylee, this goes for them too, what if they had a smartwatch and one of them, while they were out, showed a huge heart rate increase for a few minutes, like they were under a lot of stress for a few minutes, you know what I mean? Scared. It'll record what time that was, okay? So what you can do, let's say, for instance, for Ethan and Xana, that time gap. Okay, let's just say at 11 o'clock. If Ethan and Xana both wore smartwatches, or just one of them, let's say at 11 o'clock to 11:05 or 11:10, there was like, their heart rate went up to 160 beats a minute and stayed there for 5 minutes or so. Something's going on there. And then you can go to that Life 360 app and say, okay, where were they at exactly at 11 o'clock on that Life 360 app? See what I'm saying? And same thing with Madison and Kaylee, you know. Same thing with them. Because that those tracking apps are pretty accurate down to a few feet. I mean, I can track my wife just about to what aisle she's in Walmart with that thing. Like if I lose her and I can't get her on the phone, I'll pull up Life 360 and I'll see her walking through Walmart on that thing. What do y'all think about that? That's one place they could look. And maybe it'll give them an idea of kind of what's going on if something happened. If it didn't, I mean, with this day and age, there's a lot of people that have smartwatches. You know what I mean? I just wonder if Madison, Kaylee, Xana, or Ethan had a smartwatch on them before the incident happens. You know what I mean? Because I really believe there's quite a bit of evidence and information that they could get off that before the killing took place. You know what I mean? I mean, what happens if for 10, 15 minutes, if Ethan or Xana had a smartwatch on, their heart rate went up to like 160 beats a minute for a few minutes at the frat house party? There's rumors going around now that the police were called to it. So with the cars being taken, let's talk about the cars now, guys. Because I've mentioned the cars in the past, but not too much. But now that the cars have been taken, I wonder if what do you guys think? Do you guys think there will be any evidence that will help them in this investigation in one of the cars? And I want to talk about the prosecutor, because the prosecutor sat down with Brian Enton, and Brian Enton asked him a really good question, and the prosecutor, I think, answered it in the best way he knew how. Now let me tell you this. He said, the prosecutor said, there's not been anybody or anybody's name that I've been told about. Now remember that little statement right there, that I've been told about. So you see what I'm saying, guys? There's not any names that you gotta, when these news reporters ask these guys questions, you kind of got to dissect it and go, okay, are they really giving us the whole truth? You know, because they can lie. They don't have to tell us the truth. They don't have to tell nobody the truth to keep the integrity of the investigation. And, Brian asked a good question. He says, is there one piece of evidence that you may get that may say, okay, we got who we need? And Brian Enton also said, after the prosecutor said what he said, Brian said, well, so it could be just hit or miss, and it could be a while. And the prosecutor said it could be a while, or it could be. And when he said it could happen very soon too, he said that in a weird, I got a kind of vibe when he said that. So, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. In my opinion, I think they've got it narrowed down to a few people. That's my opinion. But now, like I always say, the hardest part is proving who done the crime. Again, O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony, and possibly, I can't think of his name now, that guy that may have done his wife in, I think on or around Valentine's Day. I can't think of his name now. But you see what I'm saying? Sometimes the hardest part is proving that the suspect actually committed the crime. So what do you think, guys? Do you think if any of the victims had a smartwatch that it'll help with the investigation? I mean, I think it'll help, and I think it'll help a lot. Because those things record your heart rate. They record a lot. And if they had one on at the time of the incident, you know, it'll make investigators' jobs a little bit easier too. So, tell me what you think, guys. Tell me what you think about the smartwatch scenario. Now that they pulled the cars, you know, off the property, and they're going to go over the cars, do you think they'll find any evidence in those cars? I think the cars are new enough to where they would have, you know, all of them would probably have black boxes in them, and every one of them would record pretty much when they got back to the house, and if they left again and came back or anything like that. Not to mention, you know, I mean, if they find any evidence in it, you know, that will help with the investigation. So let me know what you think in the comments below. That's the show for today. Little 12 minute, 13, 14 minute show for you. But hope you enjoyed what I brought to you today. Something to think about. And like I said, drop some comments below. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bam!